Gati Bodhi Soha, Dayata Gati Gati Parakata Padasamagati Bodhi Soha, Dayata Gati Gati Parakata Padasamagati Bodhi Soha. Sanje Chodama, Janjuba, Vidaniga Sushi, Dagi Chujeki, Jola Venture, Sanje Drupa, Sanje Chodama, Janjuba, Vidaniga Sushi, Dagi Chujeki, Jola Venture, Sanje Drupa, Sanje Chodama, Janjuba, Vidaniga Sushi, Dagi Chujeki, Jola Venture, Sanje Drupa, Samja Tamja to Tojalana Macheva Sanjay Komara Machinika Tobacha. And the issue that Becha just about Labja, Sushi, and Lala, Single, Sibala, Toala, Tojeshu, Madoa, Chikoto, and the concept of Takaja, maybe some check.
So we begin by setting our motivation to do whatever we possibly can to attain the peerless state of enlightenment. Knowing that in order to attain that state, I must perfect all the trainings on the Bodhisattva path. To perfect those trainings in turn, I must have a thorough knowledge of them, and I gain this understanding, this knowledge through reliance on a perfect presentation, perfect text. With this in mind, I am here this morning to listen to a teaching from the series of teachings known as the Graduated Path to Enlightenment. Shokchang Guju Koku. 이거 네 원에 식대 식니 송시가 쭉 딜라데네 원툴룬 루롱초 코르송 속
란자는 게 도메테 저게 데디 시도
덴데 전 신트 제와 딜라데네
뭐도 루롱초 오래 다 간제 간제제 다 간제제 가선내시 슈바네시 제네 초신 셋업 제네 다 간제제 초신 셋업 아니 제제네 아니 제 가서데 다 간제 신이 되주네 다 어디 제네 아니 신이 때문에 배운 마tembe 님이 다 가서 가서 다 때문에 배운 마tembe 님이 아니 대장 대주로 배님이라 소바티게다 삼다 아니 수시도 되고 같아체 어디든지 아니 때는 신이 때는 다 간제지 가서 수시도 때는 다 간제도 다 대조를 님보실 내고 때는 다 가서도 라라 아니 지금 대조 아니 청단직 삼으시다 대화께다 줘봐줘 청단직 삼다 아니 상단직 삼다 아니 다 간제지 아니 대대게 아니 대조 자지 뭐 니한테 라지 뭐 줘봐체 아니 뭐 줘봐체 어디든지 어디든지
So then, continuing on where we left off last week, and so as normal, in the context of this this text, we kind of generate the merit field, and then having done that, then we run through the important initial topic of how to relate to the spiritual teacher, reflecting on that, reflecting on the benefits of correctly relating to a spiritual teacher, the faults of not, or the problems of not relating to a spiritual teacher, and the faults of incorrectly relating to a spiritual teacher. And so then having gained enough conviction in the benefits of relating to a spiritual teacher and entering into that relationship, then on the basis of that, we contemplate the path. The path begins with the topic of the precious human rebirth of favorable conditions and opportunities. And then again reflect on really how I am fortunate in having the complete set of favorable conditions and opportunities, and also contemplate on really recognizing the true import of that, the real significance, the importance of having such conducive conditions for practice.
최근 닝부 저때 아니 잠바데 닝제 차기도 와 잠바데 닝제다 최근 닝부 차대고 잠바데 닝제데 아니 미일리데 디나네 된적을 리데 좀 많이 봐이나 잠바데 닝제 천이 상와제 냠네 just 하고 싶어 봐 하고 싶어.
And so when we talk about the favorable conditions and opportunities, in order to take the essence of the Dharma, the path, and that essence is, of course, love, compassion, developing these qualities. And it's enough to think that one has a human rebirth and one can develop to some extent those qualities. But when one reflects on it, it seems to be very hard to really contemplate or to really cultivate a comprehensive love, comprehensive compassion, without doing so on the basis of having the favorable conditions and opportunities pertinent to a precious human rebirth.
어디다 저 가서 된적을 리데니 봐이나 아니 저 가서 잠바데 닝제데 아니 배 가서 채매 봐지 냠네 제투에 아니 가두이네 냠네 제투에 조나 사나 통나 다 가지 가두이네 아니 냠네 제투에시다 아니 대 제바사마서 아니 잠바데 닝제도 공부 탐에도 배투에지 된적을 리데들라 때는 용어 되기도 와.
So it is on the basis of having the favorable conditions and opportunities that we can cultivate love and compassion to kind of like an endless degree. And we can also not only do that, but also we can apply the principles of love and compassion whenever and in whatever we are doing, whatever we're engaged in. And in so doing can really perfect the love and compassion. But this is possible only on the basis of having, of working on the basis of favorable conditions and opportunities.
다 원두 고바에 들라데나 좋대요. 다 원두 고바사 말에 아니 저기 가서데 원두 터바이네 아니 코바 차대요. 코바 차대 야 동네 나서줘다 동네 탐지가 다 탑에 고마에 뒤쪽되게. 타바 제바이네 다 라니 찍고 저기 가서다 타바점 터바이네 시고 항상 그 매버이자 라라 진짜 막게 심지 탐지가 되지 좀 마도 바이나 아니 문에다 내게 가서 저다 차창와지 연구요 말 라라 때네 세자 탐제 시발 빠지주에 지발 하대요. 근데 이 맞아 라시 니가 그 되어 타지 뭐 주베데 다 산제 고마서 대 대적으로 대대 상부 된대지를 연구요 가서 보다 디수고 도와주죠.
And so then it is up to us then to really understand the great significance of having attained the basis of these favorable conditions and opportunities. And on the basis of that, then we can set out to really create the causes of higher rebirths, of perfect facilities, and of the excellence within cyclic existence on the one hand, through accumulating causes based on ethical conduct, patience, effort, etc. But of course, this is not the ultimate goal that we are involved in, but we need to also, of course, understand that any rebirth in cyclic existence is also just pitting us against the suffering of cyclic existence that is all pervasive. And so our intermediate goal is to attain liberation from a cyclic existence. But having done so, we realize that just attaining liberation for myself alone isn't significant enough, isn't such a phenomenal achievement, but that, and it certainly doesn't fulfill the purpose of myself, let alone all other sentient beings who we should realize are suffering in cyclic existence in the same way as we are ourselves. And so by then expanding our motivation to attain the omniscient state of enlightenment, we are setting ourselves to fulfill completely the purpose of the self and others, and in recognizing that this is possible and only viable on the basis of having these favorable conditions and opportunities.
的我对龙就普通做个原经把的出就说把出去所讲点地中的第二新的什么我不第二的对就可能多起我中的这个中途也有感觉第二新就可能多起我中的我呢就甚至他们这什么也没做做了做拉做了呢对呢没进吧呢长边电话了没进了长边电话了个把来讲究个什다 장주가 선바 찍라 당외 따와 아니 편유체대 장주 선바 쓰게다 다 즉 오늘 전에다 지가서다 로다 당외 깨네 다디 유대 산이 비자와 선은 당외 대바 진짜 깨와는 편유체와 다 당외 대바 진짜 깨와는 원도기 대바 깨나 나야 진짜 좋나 삼사잖아 도대 편유체하는 거로 와 편유체하는 거로 와다 편유체대에서
And so, therefore, we really establish and firm up this understanding of the significance of the great favourable conditions and opportunities that we have. Not only that, but the efficacy of having such qualities can be further enhanced by having what are known as the powers. And one is here made more powerful through field, through intention or motivation, through what's known as the object, and through the basis or life, and through time. And that these will be explained. So the first of these, that's how one's actions, virtuous actions, are increased in power through the field. So here we can think in terms of merit field. And so it's saying, imagine that in all of the 10 directions, all sentient beings have been imprisoned, and that their eyes have been gouged out. So here it's saying that in terms of the field, that if we can view one bodhisattva with a pure view, a pure faith, or with manifest faith, really contemplating the inconceivable good qualities of that bodhisattva, and thinking, may I also emulate them, may I also attain those qualities. That is said that the benefit of doing that, just that once, is greater than if we had freed all those sentient beings of the 10 directions and returned their sight and led them to the bliss of Brahma. And so it's saying that in order to achieve that, to do that, to even contemplate that, we can say that without the basis of having favourable conditions and opportunity, that would be inconceivable, impossible.
아니 다가지 로슈미에 가서 먼저 디프레션스 지기를 쉬중고다 디프레션 요에 가서 다 소소되다 가서다 조금 쉬울 때네 다 탑시 매개시 때면서 아니 디프레션 연구 열어봐 다 되네 막오 소소로 짜지 뭐지 요는 가지고 아니 가능하다 또 나요 좀 그러봐
So therefore it becomes very, very crucial that we recognize just how precious these conditions and opportunities are for us, and therefore not ever to abuse them or misuse them or enter kind of into a state of despair, hopelessness, depression. And that we can see that if we really recognize the full significance of what we have in terms of the conditions and opportunities, that it is something that elevates the mind, that inspires the mind, and thereby no depression can take hold. A depression that in many ways is defined by a sort of a sense of knowing that, feeling that there is no solution to one's situation. There is no means by which I can extricate myself from this, a downheartedness. And so the full understanding of our favourable conditions and opportunities belies that.
어다 되게 랑 여바 되게 랑 여바데 하고 가지고 뭐 좋아지 개체 못 와. 뭐 맞죠 와이나? 아니 뭐 맞죠 와이나? 아니 디가서데 디 배주 당신 거 말와. 배주 당신 거 말와. 그러와. 배나 잡아잖아. 미우부지게 답에나 지금 탑디 니마이는 메다에 대 도주 도숨 주네 메다에 되는 여봐. 칼라소다 도디 세리마 하모거나 세림 도디 세림바체 데르 주데는 세림바체 아니 데네 미교부데 세림바 하모거나 아니 세리 배주되고 말와 좋아 탑도 다 셀레제자 아니 위에 동네 세트고 말이 숨에 데려와다 다 세림바 하거나 그 데네 교부제 되고요 말와.
So it's so important to understand what we have in terms of these advantages. If we don't see that, then of course we will not be inclined to take advantage of that, to use that. We will be unable to use that. We will not know how to use that. The example in the text is given of a poor person who only has like these what he thinks are 3 stones to put in a triangle, put the pot on and cook food in. But one of them is gold. And so it's not knowing this, is that the poor person is completely bereft of any plan to get themselves out of their poverty. But if they know that what they have is gold, and then there's no way they're going to sit around the fire doing nothing, are they? They're going to actually act on that.
도대 세리 뭐 하고는 아니 쇼핑 릭스 집을 속으로 왔다 못하디.
And so knowing that the stone is actually gold, they start making this big shopping list for a new car, a new fridge and all that.
다 집에 나랑 속에 류데 된적을 류데 디 멋쳐서나 아니 된적을 류데 니뭐 가를 내도 멋쳐나 아니 나라서 쇼핑 리스트 해요 봐.
So we should take the same attitude, but knowing that we have a precious human rebirth of these favorable conditions and opportunities. And once we know that, then we make our own shopping list of how to take the essence of that life, of this life.
어디전 딱 간제 되게 내가 전부 쇼다 뭐 된적을 류데 된적을 어디에 좀 참아서 인당 거래샤. 아니 랑도 예바 장도 같이 아니 대조분 류데가 님부터 갈래 요래 님부터 소설 내도 맞지 좋았다 대조고 류데서도 뭐들 하다 미고마 최대 디기 영화 잠지에 대 대조고 류데 님부 말이 최대 디기 영화 대조고 류데 고고요 말이 다가니세 뭐들 하다 미고마 토발에 대조고 류데 고고요 말이 좋아 아니 지금 타바지 두바 이바이나 타바도 가면 저다래다 대야 된적을 류데가 님부터 내두고요 말이야. 다 님부터 가서 라시 니가 되어 같이 뭐 두두야지. 좋아는 어다 대적 류데가 님부터 내두고 말이야. 어디로 왔다.
And so that then what is our reality now? What is it that we have that's so crucial? We have to gain a thorough understanding of that, a thorough conviction from our own analysis, from our own contemplation, to gain that knowledge for ourselves, and so that it becomes like really well established, firmly established, a reality for us that is kind of constant with us, and so that then we understand that there is a purpose for my life, a purpose of taking the essence of this life, and then we go and we proactively take that essence, and we question, okay, so what is that? Is it just simply living a good life now, getting the most out of this life that we can? No, that's not enough. Is it to really establish a good future life as a human being or a celestial being? No, that's not enough. Is it even to attain the honorable state of liberation from cyclic existence? And they say, no, that's not quite enough. we really have to, the essence meaning is that we really fulfill the purpose not only of ourselves, but of others as well. And so that is attaining the state of enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. That is the essence.
다 된대가 사제 고마 토베 체도 아니 뭐도 고마 죽고요. 즉 탑에 남을 납고요. 다 디가 연구로 와. 다 연구로 와. 다 디가 연구로 와. 디 체도.
And so when we have that in that priority list made, and then we know that to attain the state of enlightenment to benefit all sentient beings, that it will be required to take a good future fortunate rebirth as a human being or as a celestial being. It will be necessary to approach the state of a liberation from cyclic existence itself, as well as steps to that ultimate goal.
어디를 연구해? 다 이제 그 샘제 탐제가 되는 줍스도 다 샘제 탐제가 되는 줍스도 다디 되는 줍에 디 개침부지네 다 디잖아 아니 디체도 아니 랑게 강투도 그 지에디게 아니 개저 랑게 til을 유베 샘제를 펜바 투베지 그러 필러 투베 샘제를 강투도 그 펜바 투베지 아니 딜라 때문에 펜바 투바데 샘제 탐제를 펜바 투베게 아니 다 거기네 주고 있지 근데 샘제 탐제를 펜바 투브스도 랑게 til을 이거 돈하면 버티네 많이 받지.
So it's really understanding that in order to fulfill the purpose of sentient beings, that yes, it is necessary to attain the omniscient state of enlightenment, but also it is necessary that this is a graduated path through true higher rebirths, true liberation, and so on. So therefore we have kind of the safeguard of knowing that there is this contextual understanding that we must have, that when we talk about the benefit of all sentient beings, that it is not some distant concept that is no relevance to my life today, but rather that the benefit of all sentient beings begins with the benefit of the beings who are right next to me now, right around me now, who I engage with on a day-to-day basis. And that in fact this is the doorway through which I can really expand the concept of a benefit to all sentient beings. So this is a vital cog in my practice.
Think globally, act locally. Yeah, what other? And it got to it, Chile, you want to go to it.
So yes, that the Western, how do you call it? The
think globally.
The think globally and act locally.
So
this kind of idea.
Some of the what is in a young, to do and dinner. What I never dream of the Yomarwa. Chile dog and dinner go to the dog. But I started in Melbourne City Latona, and then Nara or in a Dandy Noja go to the dog. That's what dinner to Jan, these two what it, Gion Panto.
And so you can see this is a logical approach, isn't it? Because in fact this is the only way it can work. That yes, we have the overall concept of think globally, but we must, in order to achieve anything globally, we have to start locally anyway. We have to begin where we can, just like Melbourne began in the CBD and then moved out to develop Dandenong, Narre, etc. And later on it acted locally.
어디 다 간제 디 가서도 미유디 심지 탐제를 펴봐 줘야지. 아니 고수도 다 그런 거 지내야 고수 어디 다 간제 어디게 다 개침부스 있잖아. 개침부스 삼자양 먼저 칠레 이거 도나시라 말하자. 칠레 이거데 지금 녀모 독숨 기 배주 당사 소로지. 아니 몰론디 닝제보 직접 심지 탐제를 펴봐 두고 탐자이샤 어디를 제도 삼성 먼저 지당 맞지 왔다는 하고 받지는 데이터 투버 토트에 개침버려도 못들.
And so that yes, our objective is to fulfill the purpose of all sentient beings, but in the meantime we act locally. We act in being able to really take the essence of our life in the context of those who are with us now, those who we are surrounded by locally, and that we must not confuse the issue by simply relying on making beautiful prayers, but using our lives and those around us just to exercise our mental afflictions. And that would be a very poor mistake. We have to know what the focus of our attention should be.
다 되게 좋아이나 아니 랑게 냠면서 미신배 냠려는 것도 편도 제도 그래. 아니 미신바 그 미신바 수가 아니 이왕 토그로 와. 대바도 만 남과 이가 대바 쳐보인 라. 아니 저 최케말랭게다 랑게 줘바니라 케바촌에 매되겠지. 케바촌에 매되겠지 봐. 아니 그 최네 시월 주고도 다이네 다디 저 가서 연내게 통 마동 아니마이나. 아니 도나스게 용거 말와. 도나 매배 갈래 직전에 다디도 쳐요 말에 삽사기야. 즉 가서도 로다도들에게 내가 열어봐. 다 문에 편도 저 밀어 주지라고 말해. 소소 야보체 아니 제바티 아니 지금 류가 예수님들은 막 출로 되는지 밀 강도 편바도 봐이나. 아니 미디 이왕 통한 거로 와. 아니 문에 전에 때발에 편도 저 what does 와.
And so that means too that, you know, from our point of view, our practice should be something that is observable in many ways by others, to see that it is something beautiful and that therefore inspires them to engage in that as well, to see that it is beneficial, that it is useful, that it is logical, that it's practical, and that if people don't see that, and then if we are not behaving in accordance to the principles that we purport to uphold, then others who are coming in may not see any difference between us and those who don't accept any spiritual tradition at all. See no difference, and may not see qualities and pay no attention to that, and therefore consider that, oh, this path is pointless. And so we've kind of really facilitated their generation of wrong view because of that. So it's very, very important that if we really truly want to take the essence of this precious human rebirth, that it is can be seen in the actions of our body, speech and mind, and that it is seen that we are out to try and be beneficial, to be helpful, and that that is something that can be observed and therefore inspire others.
된지기 기보스 때바 징게 때바 답보자게 차버와 때면은 안 남바인라 나 대바 첨보인라 아니 저거 다다다 좀 맞아 와이나 아니 대가 될 때바를 뇌에 차수나 나 된지 차마 때바 시킨 차버와 때바 시킨 때바 매바 속에 된지 가서다 제대로 제바이나 미 좋아하기는 들어 도나 요야지 주마 인바이나 나 때바 징게 차버와 때바 답보자게 때문에 편도치게 차버와 민가리 연하면나 다 디멤버장가 나바인가 대바침보이나 아니 소선 룽아 예수인데 최케말랭가데 집어지장 치바이나 라 그래서 다 때마 시긴 소라 차버와 때마 매버 속은 소라 차버와 그러와 차버와 되게 좀 못쳐받치네 못쳐받치네
So it is something that we need to really distinguish and to recognize that you know, when we are acting to take the essence and want to be beneficial to others through our body, speech and mind, we are like somebody who is upholding the teachings. That's very, very important. Not interested in reputation or anything like that. It's just somebody from our own side. We are seen to actually uphold the teachings. Whereas if we are, you know, kind of really referring to ourselves as I'm this practitioner, I'm this Mahayanist and so on, and I've got this such and such teachings, but that our behavior, our actions are not indistinguishable from somebody who has no spiritual tradition, then we are the opposite. We are somebody who is actually destroying the teachings, destroying the Dharma. We cannot be said to be somebody who is upholding the teachings.
다 자주 선바 탐제에서 초발내자 산제제 법의 공부적 초발 표현체 아니 산제 탐제 초발내자 로변제 법의 부가지가 다 초발 표현체신 다대에서 류된 델레 줍네 오다 된데게 오다 델레 표현 전부 요바데 아는 가서 대적을 류된 델레 되는 표현도 줍두고도 와서 줍네 다 삼백권에 대처와 줍니다. 심지어 탐제가도 조장 토바 자원냐면 삼백군에 란데 된줄라 생장 찍지나 계속 신도 돕쳐와 주고 와서 아니 제도 저와 심지어 장매 받아 톱자 조배 장주 연대 삼지 미자와 때문에 계속 신도 돕쳐와 주 신도서 돕쳐와 주 민의심 대한 다들 류대 될라데 좀 되시다 어디에 되게 돕쳐보다 류대 대적을 류대 될라데 좀 누구도 와서 뭐도 가서 뭐비권에 돕쳐와 좀 누구네 키베 상생 빠도 매바 집발려자 라도 중에 최 직제 집바 수능 하지 대야라리 라도 중한 남게 다도 좀 다가자 라도 중만요 다 지다 타매와 집바 임바이네야 도바 유메기 개바기 도바 유바지기 아니 제 셀레 집바다 왔다 도바 매바지 집바다 왔대 도바 유바지 집바다 왔대 표현 치야 연구요래 가서 대기 권에 표현 쳐. 다 삼백 권에야 자주가 생게 심백 권에 집바 셈 유바다 매베도나 셈 유바디 집바다나 표현 돕쳐요. 과다디가 디야 맞아 류대 디데는 좀 투여지려 와. 대적을 류대 유바 있는 지 두고 있지만 좀 두고 요 말아. 어디서 뭐 여러 가지 있잖아.
그래서 이 ngoboton에 노보고네 덕체와 당 댕기고네 덕체와 디케바디 나셀보면도
다다다 심제 탐제 조자 도베죠. 체도저와 심제 장매바다 톱자 조배 장주 연자 삼진 미자바다 대배 계사 신도 돕체와 주민 그래서 신도 돕체와서 주민의세 대야다 될리된 신도 돕체다 타예바 연사 신도 돕체보다 두두고 바다디 가서 삼바 장주가 셈셈바다는 좀 된데 타예바도 두두고 열봐 어째 수비 요새 대답이 류대 뒤 좀다 근데 대적을 류대는 삼바된데 심지어 탐제를 편바주야 삼로들이 게 두고 열봐 안데 어때 삼백권에 쭉 투야지 뭐백권에 돕쳐와 쭉 뉴반에서 딱 뭐백권에 돕쳐서 뭐 무슨나 딱 제자라 지 배는 로다 가서 산생기 지마 딱 같이 그 칼라다 어떤데 지금 지마 이나 딱 뭐부 뒤로 와 지에 뭐부 찍고 지장 이만에 도바 유미 켜바기 도바 유경기 지금 지마다 도바 매경기 지마지 뭐부터 지고 지장으로 와 지고 이내야 양 도바 유미가 돕치 좀 줘야 되지 도바 배는 결론 도바 잡아도 계주고 잡아도 야나 미게 임반에 기니가 도바 유다메 켜봐 용거 와 기니가 도바 유경다 기니가 도바 매경 집이나 기니가 도바 유경도 돕치야 용
아니 댕기고네 덕체와 돼
그랬어
댕기고네
다 댕기고네 뭐비고네 돕쳐와서 다 진짜 그 제대로 와 뭐비고 돕쳐와 다 댕기고네서 다 도바 유다 매게 된체 집에 제대 돕치 좀 집에 제 집에 지장 이봐 얘네 도바 유매가 돕치 좀 좋대지 다 이제 데니프가 파수 자리에서 있잖아 자리에서 그렇죠
그래서 이 베디 그 노보고네 덕체와서는 김바상 생기 박투 매바 친바 아니 랍도 중에 초 식제와 디
어디 돕치하지
디 이니
돕치하지
디
뭐비고네 돕치하서는
디 domba
domba 말이야 최당 상생이 개발와 뭐부 제디 즉 가서 미게 김백이 상생이 좀 받지지 상세 사회 통해라 소바 잘라로 소바 지지 답변은 랍도 중에 최진 받지와 이나 아니 최진 받지와도 돕지 않았어 뭐부 티니지 다 미게 이번에 미게 그 최고 진받지마다 미게 그 상세 진받지마다 미게 그 최고 진받다 돕지 않다 뭐비고는 돕지 않지 그래서 뭐지 땡거 거네 전에다 도박이 되지 않지 그러면 다 직전에 투에는 거라 잡아당 뒤께서 제 말에 다 가자 미게 이번에 미게라 빨리 개니고 도박 요견시다 개니고 도박 매견직 야 그것도 좀 요한되겠지 안 도박 고마 돕지 않아 다 개니고 도박이 개주고 도박에다 아니 다 결혼 말이 도박을 안 딜에 장주 세배 도박이 돕지 않았다 어떻게 다 장주 세배 도박이나 상하게 도박이 돕지 않고 또 고마 돕지 않아서 어떻게 야도 혹가잖아 야 잡아도 미게 캐바치게 소리 때 캐바데 말이야 도박권에 저 그러나 어디
So furthermore, in terms of the field, the first element of what makes an action more powerful, more beneficial, is that say if worshipping one pore of a Buddha's body is more beneficial than worshipping countless bodhisattvas. And in turn, worshipping one pore of the Guru's body is more powerful than worshipping all of the Buddhas. And so this is in terms of the field. So this is something that we can make these kinds of distinctions based on having this basis of opportunity and conditions and favorable conditions. And so then what makes our actions more beneficial, more powerful in relation to intention or motivation? This is clearly described in that it is when we have the motivation to benefit all sentient beings, to attain a state of enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. And in doing that, in having generated that motivation, we offer just one mouthful of food to an animal. That makes that action all the more powerful. And it's powerful by having the inconceivable good qualities of achieving perfect enlightenment as the goal, and having the sake of countless sentient beings as the object of our goal. And so this is what makes our action, greatly strengthens the root of virtue of that action. And again, this is something made possible to us by having this basis of leisure, of favorable conditions and opportunity. The next means by which we can enhance the power of our actions is through the object, that is, what is being given. And so it's saying here it is more beneficial for a renunciate to offer one verse of Dharma, more merit in that, and than it is for a lay practitioner to offer countless material offerings. And so this is in relation to what's being given. In other words, that the giving of Dharma always is more powerful and more beneficial than giving of material goods. And then the what makes an object more powerful in terms of the basis.
그래서 짐바빠도 짐바라 중에 측제직 짐바 소남자다 키베게 키바 코랑 차샤바이네 키바 게니가 동바 유에되게 아니 사세게 짐바지발에 키바 코랑게 아니 추게 짐바지나 디페차 용되지 페차 곧 추게 짐바지도 땡게 디기 투야 사세게 짐바 내가 그 편바 투야면도 용고 말봐 왔다 키바 용고도 와 키바 용고도 왔다 오 키바 용고도 다 중에 추 측제직 집에 소남 하제 대야라를 라도 좋아하는 게 대다 좋다 라도 좋아다까지 다 대적을 리대 이거 저때 두고도 와 제발에 제여 봐다 땡기 권도 돕체와 둠니번에 장세 킴바나 장세 킴나 내배어서 두마이 자주 잡라다 두마 마스코로 두마스마 자주 잡라서 니보 리랍 잡주나다까지 타야바지 주네 마음에 피와이나 배 시부저 소놈 집어 사기로 와 딜에 장세 공반에 대바다 권한을 받다 그러다 가서 다 돈바 숨대 이거 다 또 고만에 내봤으나다 결혼 자주서 봤어요다 고만에 내배 주말 딱 가서 티바 직zam라 니뭐 갑자기 잡다 누누는 매디게스 피나 마음에 피와라 배에 차이에 되겠지 다가자도 지금 돈바 돕치 좀 쓰고 되고 와 어때 다 장주게 가서 다 장주게에서 셈라 개발 매자 장주게 셈라 개발 된지 권에 돕치신 대야 다대 결혼 장주 셈베 된제대 되게 좀 요다 되게 된 권에 돕쳐버렸다 결혼 된제대다 결혼 그 된제대 된적을 되면은 결혼 된제 용화요 말와 용화요 말다 그 된적을 되게 계속 이마도 장으로 와 어디 다들 결혼하다 결혼마다 그걸 자는 되게 하고 있어 자는 다들 결혼 스캅도 손도 왔다 결혼마다 되게 그만 자잖아.
So that that in terms of this object, the giving, what makes it more powerful in terms of what is being given. In that particular example, of course, it could just as easily be said that that the one verse of Dharma, which is offered by a lay person is more powerful than the countless material offerings made by a lay person also. Just to emphasize that it is what is being given here is what makes it more powerful. In terms of the vows, and then this is in the context of making an object more powerful in terms of the life or the basis. So here the example is given of the light of the lamp with one single drop of oil and a wick the size of a needle point, which is lit by a monk or nun with bodhicitta, staying in solitude, has greater benefit than a lamp with an ocean of oil and a wick the size of Mount Meru, lit by a lay person with a bodhicitta. So here the distinction is not made in terms of the bodhicitta, but in terms of the vows. And so here the fully ordained monk or nun, it makes that action all the more powerful. That basis.
신도 개배봐도 아니 최종 송알래 미지 지된지 감대를 최종 나를 송한테 표현해. 딱 그저 산지의 신감 된대지라 아니 배 개발의 개배봐도 최종 송한테 표현 삼점이 저요와. 딜에 미지 직대 같다 나라도 내사가 직대 뒤나라 최종 나가져 송나 표현 자용을 요랬어. 그래서 다대 최종 송이라 받제문 부여와. 디인상 아니 된대지 나가져 송이네 표현식 줘야 돼. 배나 속주 봐야 최종 송. 야나 지가서도 loy maje chudin sore soe yana kaso de misanga chue jagi yune da kanja chudin nagaje soa yin bai ne ya da chazang sona da pei yor ba da nagaje soa yin bai yan zuyin ma xie chudin sore soa yin bai na da pei shita cha yong gu yor es du zu kone.
So the fifth way in which actions can be rendered more powerful is through time or timing. And so here is, for example, saying that there is more benefit to somebody keeping good ethical conduct for a single moment in this world at this time than it would be for those in the Buddhas in the Buddha realms, or those in the Buddha realms of the northeastern border who were maintaining good ethical conduct for eons. And so why is this the case? It is the case because there are so many more obstacles to maintaining good ethical conduct now, and that being able to do so purely for even a single moment is of tremendous benefit. And here, of course, we can see how it is difficult to avoid any kind of killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, and so on. And that here it's to be kind of really untainted in our ethical conduct, that we can accrue such benefit. This is why, for example, maintaining celibacy and so on at this time creates tremendous merit, a great benefit.
아니 다 셰슈베 가다 되는지 언제 가서 덤베 때봐 껴마 슈베 뒤서 수좀 다 유림비 봐도 손 대바데 펜 시우적으로 딜레 때봐 질라 내와 답변을 단대 뒤서서 질레 내에 뒤서 나도 잠시 수정 소아이나 디펜 차용 그랬어.
And likewise, it gives the other example here of somebody maintaining a good ethical conduct at a time when the Buddha's teachings, when the Buddha was still living, and at the time when they were prevalent or untainted, is of course tremendously beneficial and would have been greatly beneficial. But it pales in significance to the benefit that is accrued through maintaining good ethical conduct, even for one morning, at this time when the teachings are on the verge of destruction. And so, like, this is important, and say, why is this the case? It is the case because we can uphold such conduct now. Why? Because we have the basis of these favorable conditions and opportunities.
지금 영어 되게 도다 뒤도 삼로 야고 따는 오호 디 마기바 제고 된다데 다가 된다 충종 줘 세디에 된다 충종 야는 미지가 남주 야고 된 야마래 야나 세디게 소소가 저 가소래 디바 된다 지금 좀 야마리다 야는 미지가 90체 야마래 야나 미지가 파소소 야고 제바네 수 집이 내밖에 다 돼서 내주 충종을 고마고 왔지네 딜레 나간 갈래 된적을 리데도 촐라토나 뺏사그래 섬섬체네 아니 디니 불려도 받체지 디제바네 엔 콘도 사이트 매바 차줘야지 그와 안디 콘도 사고 저게 답에 저 개와 치매체도 콘도 사고 요 말에 타바다 탐제 기배 토베체도 콘도 사고 요 말에 다 콘도 사고 체디 된다 충중을 짓고 된다 디니 된적은 리데가 님부 말에 섬섬체네 다 같이 저 디체도 고마고 왔지네
And so that this again showing how really precious and sacred it is what we have in terms of this precious human rebirth, of the favorable conditions and opportunities. Like to hear that if we know this, then the normal reasons for why we get unhappy or why we become angry and frustrated, over really what should be seen as insignificant issues. Like somebody looked sideways at me, or I didn't get the respect that I deserved, or I really helped that person and they harmed me in return, or I didn't get what I wanted in one way or another. Things didn't turn out the way I wanted them to. This is something that we really have to put into context and see that by indulging these kinds of thoughts, we are wasting our precious human rebirth of favorable conditions and opportunities. And that is really an issue that we should be depressed about. That if we are wasting this chance, and that when we are angry, that doesn't do anything to help me attain a favorable life as a human being or a celestial being. It doesn't do anything to get me closer to liberation, and is certainly not taking the essence of my life. And so we can see that any sort of frustration, any sort of anger, or this kind of like, I didn't get what I wanted out of this life, blah, 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 it means that you've lost your focus, you're misdirected, and you are not taking the essence of this life.
아니 원래는 님불래네 아니 강토도 왜냐면체 아니 다가네 지금 잠바데 닝제 고 못주네 가두이네 잠바데 닝제 못주네 고 아니 셈제 지금 가서도 동아와 컨텐츠 통화이 바이네야 아니 대다 동네를 제와 쏜댔체 동네를 제가 잠디 잭사도 뭐같체 셈제 콘도 사게지 쳐봐이나 아니 디 콘도 녀도 시에게 아니 뭐같체 아니 셈제 교보다 사주 tun주 매와 집어나 야 디게 동네 되게 뉴도 시에 디 동네데 전화 치마를 잡아 주지 잡아 쇼지 잡아 타게 지기에서 대대전에 봐 아니 되게 징글 놔둬서 선대체 아니 대 동네데 전화 치마 선은 라는 객사도 좀 뭐하체 어디데 전에 다 간제 지금 아니 지금 가서데 다 간제 지금 거두 임바이네 거두 임바이네야 아니 잡아데 닝제데 거두 이네 마케바치는 유에되겠지 마테바체를 요래 아니 가베 거 냐외 동네 나서도 차장 거 동네 나서도 삼로 따네 아니 대다게 라비베는 잠바다 닝제다 되서 겁네 어디든지 아니 이다가 대공 동네 아니 뒤뒤 레시 도마 밀라다 제가 나치게 동네 다가네 시면 아마이라 아니 탑저거 동네 하나 치대 포함해서 대다 동네도 삼로 따네 아니 대다를 동네 제가 지마로 제가 쇼지 제가 죽지 아 대다를 미베 잡아대 닝제 고 안 다가네 랑그 수 통나 심지 근데서 통화 이번에 들미베네 다디 미베 다디 가서 미테베 동네 근데 지어 봐이네 아니 디데 텐데고 로케 아니 들에 잡아대 닝제 고 어디다 전 간제 어디다 제
So rather than entertain these kinds of distracted thoughts, that we really need to dedicate all of our thinking towards our practice, And that means, what is the essence again of our practice? It is in doing whatever we can, whenever we can, in a continuous flow, to enhance, cultivate, expand, and deepen our love and our compassion. And so really to kind of like really in doing so, to be able to see anybody who is suffering, and to really do whatever we can to relieve them by suffering, even if that is a simple prayer that may they be separated from their suffering. And that anybody who we see as angry and frustration, we can do whatever we can directly, but also make the prayer, may their suffering be pacified. And then dedicate all of this so that it can really feed into our need to constantly cultivate this love and this compassion. Like really the prayers of how wonderful it would be if such a being was completely separated from their suffering. And may this be the case. May I be the one to do this. So, O Guru Deity, please bless me to make this so. And to really make these prayers, make these dedications constantly to kind of enhance our love and compassion. And reflect that on all the sufferings of the 6 realms of cyclic existence. Really get into the heat and the cold of the hell realms, the hunger and thirst and so on, deprivation of the hungry spirits, the benighted ignorance and so on, being beasts of burden and so on in the animal realms, and the human realm sufferings, even the celestial beings and asuras who are dominated by jealousy, pride and so on, and then the signs of impending death, which are tremendous mental sufferings for the celestial beings. And to really develop love and compassion on the basis of that, of how wonderful it would be to be able to really do something to relieve them of this suffering. And may this be the case. May I be the one to do it. And oh, Guru Deity, please bless me to be able to remove all the undesirable suffering from all sentient beings, and to kind of make that an integral part of our thinking.
다가리 록다 젠자고 되네. 겨만치 요마레 렌데 요마레 타바 탐지 좀 요마레서 어디서 콘도 마사 왔잖아. 안 디게 돼. 왔다디 몸에 온 걸라 와서 되게 몸바 말이 번유도 세바쇼. 삼사자 안랑이 격자도 들은 거 왔잖아. 안디 몸바디네 세 마시 몸바디네 세와 용티. 왔다디 뭐 같이 왔다지. 안 다가리 저 심제 시할라 저 가서도 다 지금 너가 제대로 되게 랍초보 사대게 되게 이번에 들 콘도 사대데 맞죠. 다디 다다 셈제데 동에 뇽시바디 겨왕가마 나서 동 레산에 되고 뇽되고 다 닝제 다다 디 벨 셰발라 소바트서 다 동에 주사도 주고요. 들 믹스게 닝제 게네. 아니 대다가다 저 동에 주대 제가 제와쇼 삽사 삼로다 뭐하지 라니 제사도 뭐하지.
And so that with people, for example, who have wrong views, who claim loudly that they do not accept past and future lives, they have no interest in the law of cause and effect, they don't believe in the state of enlightenment and so on, that not to develop any sort of aversion or anger towards them, but really, again, with love and compassion, to really pray that they may be kind of may they be relieved of this kind of confusion of ignorance, and that they may have the light of wisdom shine in their lives, and that they may be relieved of that confused ignorance. Likewise with people who we see as very negative, even though they seem to be thriving in this life, to see how they are engaged in such cruelty and so on, and that we can not have any anger at all for them, but again through thinking about the karmic, first of all the karma of previous lives that have facilitated their position of influence now, and that is it would have been good karmic causes to do so, but now that they are creating on the basis of that such terrible negativities and cruelties, how that's going to impact on their future lives, that brings forth an special intensity of compassion for them, without any anger or frustration from our part, but to really feel, may they not have to feel the consequences of their actions, may they be relieved of their suffering that is certainly in the going to happen for them.
다가리서 소소라다 말아서 미세스가 섬섬 디기리 또서 섬섬 동에 여기서 다 제대로 봐. 아니 디기리 중화인데 아니 디기 중화데 땅아 다리 디기 중소 디기 중화데 semje 탐자를 딘내시 디기 용하쇼 디기 되다 탐자는 semje 탐자 그 아니 배 디기 데데 용에 배 남각하고追잖아. 아니 심지 탐절 뭐지. 심지 탐절 어디는 신 디기 용에 어딘데 뭐지. 야 동네를 중소네 다 소소 동네 중화디 아니 심지 탐절 동네 다 대다 그 내가 가르쳐 대다 말을 미봐쇼. 얘디 고쳐 봐쇼. 아디 동네 자수도 깨 봐쇼. 어디데 뭐지. 어디는 참.
And in terms of us, like for what happens to us, in terms of whatever happiness or suffering that we experience, that when we are happy, again, to really not so much kind of like immerse ourselves in that, but rather to really recognize how may all sentient beings be able to experience happiness like this. May it be space filled with happiness for all sentient beings, and dedicate your happiness for the happiness of all sentient beings. And that understanding that the happiness that I am experiencing is of course contaminated happiness. And so you dedicate that, not just that they experience such contaminated happiness, but that it may be uncontaminated happiness that all sentient beings can experience. And similarly, when we experience suffering, when suffering arises for us, that we contemplate the suffering of all sentient beings, and that the karma that has led to that suffering, may it all ripen upon me now. May the whole ocean of suffering ripen upon me now, so that sentient beings do not have to experience the consequences of their karmic causes. And so that may I experience all that suffering that sentient beings have created for themselves, and may it ripen upon me, and may I be the one who can make meaning out of it now. And so that tremendous countless benefits that can accrue from having really genuine and really sincere aspirations like this, the dedications like this, is only possible on the basis of having this basis of precious human rebirth, and to be able to do that, and that's what makes it so precious. And so that means that whatever arises for us, be it our suffering or our happiness, we can make both meaningful. And that how is that possible? It is possible on the basis of having this basis of favorable conditions and opportunities. And so that when we experience some suffering, and on the basis of that we contemplate all the suffering of all sentient beings, and really hope that it ripens, and wish that it ripens upon us now, so that they do not have to experience it. Now, that other beings do not have to experience the results of the karmas that they have created themselves is quite difficult for us to take on. But even if that does not eventuate, yet the aspiration that we have created and expressed brings unbelievable benefits to it.
And mixege maumba 먼저 semjela dur 소소 뉴바지 차와이나 소소 삼로 당사 semjen 대소라 정말 편도 렐라 두고요. 그래서 렐 저와 자살와.
And so that especially one benefit of it is that in future and in future lives, because we have habituated to this way of thinking, that when we have more capacity, we will be able to really benefit sentient beings in this way. We will be able to do so because we have created the karma to be able to do so.
어때 this 내가 쳐버다 거저 어때 들레 삼로단 카토를 팽게 말했어도 들레 계자 말해 카토들의 폐마베 계자 말해 거저 미지지 계자 말 세람데 세람 계자 임바 인주 또 내가 쳐버 차대고 요와.
And so this is important in the context of and very vital point in saying that when we are so limited in being able to directly benefit others, that this should not dissuade us from the more expansive aspirations to be a benefit to all sentient beings in this way, because it creates the causes, the karmas by which we can be more efficient in our benefit in future. And so we're talking not just in terms of one life, of course, here, but from life to life. So we are expanding our capacity to benefit in this way.
다가리죠 소소가 동에 좋아서 생제 탐제가 동에 소소를 미소 다디 고쳐서 섬서다 랑게 르그 토나다 강에 여바네 샘팅들라 쪼나죠 디 캡사르와 다 생제 탐제 나 시바이네 시구초가 정소 나 나바이네 나구초가 줘 나의 고초가 줘다 야고 정소 섬서다나 데데 삼로스타 레토바이나 소소 샘팅들라 쪼나죠 다디 빼버와.
So that when we engage in this kind of contemplation very, very thoroughly on the basis of my own suffering, I contemplate all the suffering of all sentient beings, and I want it to ripen upon me now. This is something which can have a very profound effect. That even though and to the point where we can really accept any kind of consequences to this actually happening, to say if I die at this point, absolutely no problem. It makes it very, very meaningful. If I become thoroughly ill because of this, then again that makes it so meaningful and so beneficial. And so that even though we may have the physical illness and pain still, yet deep down in the mind there will be a deep sense of delight, a deep satisfaction with what we are aspiring to do. And so it has this kind of very, very interesting effect.
코아바스데 동에 찍 저게 동에 찍고 동에 매게 미수가면도 당분간 나 동에면 나 기부 이 쉐거든 계제 쉐다 간장선데 아니 동에 뭐지 레고도 와 그래서 동에 뭐 맞죠면 동에 매봐 말이 로 동에 뭐 맞죠잖아 다 데데서 동에 질려도 아니 동에 간지 레바이나 삼로 데레스 땅도 와이나 랑게 동에디 최주에 튕겨를 쳐서 디캡사로 와.
And so it's important to recognize that we are denizens of cyclic existence, which has the nature of really having a stumble really from one suffering to the next anyway. And that that this is kind of like pervasive in cyclic existence, and that we're all suffering. There isn't anybody who is not suffering, and if they claim to be, just talk to them for a little while, and soon you'll have them telling you all their miseries. And it's just that they haven't, they're in denial, and they haven't really recognized how much suffering they're actually experiencing. So this is very, very clear. And so that, to know this is great news. To really be fully aware of it is the means by which we are empowered to really do something about it.
섬도 인디오 되는 령 워싱턴 인디오 그래서 강에 그다 두가요 된자 아까서는 그때 대부분 디샤 기부에 나서는 친구이 라기도 나서는 저 시부에 근데 계자 마마시다 간자서 오다 부구 야보면도 부구 트랜스페이지 당기도 아니 그랜치얼든 야보면도 트랜스페이지 당기도 아니 두자지기도 스타까지 계자 먹고 다 되는 거 동네로 와 당번 동네도 하고 오면도 와 어디래 다 되는 요거도 가서 그 술에 이번에 동네 치종지도 와 동네 치주도 와
Sometimes in interviews I meet people who come in very bright and cheery, and you ask how are you, and they say I'm really good. I'm very, very fortunate. I have a very good life, very fortunate life. And then you start the interview, and within 5 minutes they're telling you about how bad their children are. This one is into drugs, and this one is doing that, and then the grandchildren are even worse. They are also, real, and the bane of my life kind of thing, and that so. By within a few minutes, they're in a state of misery. And so you can see that it's not a case of nobody is suffering in this world. It's just that we're all experiencing greater or lesser sufferings.
다 이네 다 개취 가서나 동행 연구를 때 동행디 최초에 튕겨를 배주 당도나 다 겹사래도 와.
And so therefore an important thing is when you know suffering is prevalent, and that you can use that suffering to as a conducive condition for practice.
다른 이제 먼저 디기 연구래. 디기 연구에 디기대 최초에 튕겨를 배주 당도나 다 동행다 디기니가 최초에 튕겨를 배주 당나 아랑게 대적을 누대도 틀었다는 거도.
And so, of course, happiness is also present, and that we can also use and commandeer happiness as a conducive condition for practice. And so when you've got both covered in terms of using both suffering and happiness as a conducive condition for practice, then there's no chance of really wasting this precious human rebirth of favorable conditions and opportunity.
디기 연구에서는 초라직 당도 동해 연구에서는 초라직 당도 아니 내가 미세 제가는 이 구구로와 아니 내가 디기 연구 동해 연구에서 직 초라당 거 아니 칼라사야다 녀자자야다 내가 뒤수 방법이 좋아하셔가 여러와 아니 최주에 되게 뭐도 와 다디에서 것도이네 구급스니 디기 중에 최주에 튕겨를 배다 동해 중에 최주에 배 내가 내내 최주에 튕겨를 배주다 니 군에 최주에 튕겨를 배주 당도나 아니 대적을 누대한테 초라당도 뭐도 와.
So it's so important, isn't it, to be able to use, adjust our attention, adjust our attitude in this way, because if not, we can see how on the one hand we experience some happiness and we kind of get mired in that, and that tends to waste our time and waste our precious human rebirth. And then suffering comes along next, and then we get again overtaken and overwhelmed by that suffering, and it in turn wastes our precious human life. And then we sleep half our life anyway, and that's gone. And then we're eating, and then we don't engage in dharma. Then we're shopping, and by the time you add it up, there's actually no time to engage in spiritual practice at all. And so what we're talking about here is to use everything, use all experience, use every minute of every day, that there is no distinction between suffering and happiness, no distinction whether I'm working, whether I'm sleeping, whether I'm eating, whether I'm shopping, that I'm using it all as conditions to engage in spiritual practice. And in this way, we will take the essence of our precious human life.
당연히 이제 미국수 펜터와 있네 최초에 튕겨를 배주다 최초 배주다 미국 내가 개와 있네 최초에 튕겨를 배주다 다 가르쳐봐 있네 그럼 내가 개 잘라시 가르쳐봐 있네 이 최초에 튕겨를 랑게 잡아도 이제 공부해도 줘야 딜럼 이제 다 딜럼 미비 이제 공부해도 줘야 그래서 아니 디 동에 그래도 내내 봐서 동에도 소스 출래야 라서봐 아니 출내 때는 딜럼 딜럼 페바 숙치야 주비에게 로게 뭐다 되게 라서봐 다 같이 직 제토바 이나 랑이 녀모 게마도바 녀모 매바체 귤레 배주 땅투에 제바 이나 라 튕게 잡아라 라 튕게 잡아라.
And so that's when we turn our attitude and our focus and our attention in this way, that everything becomes an opportunity for us, especially when we meet with unfortunate circumstances and people who want to harm us, who criticize us, and where jealousy is part of it, and have other people's mental afflictions impinging on us. And this is when we have our firm commitment to really using every opportunity to, for example, develop our love, develop our compassion. Here we can see that even with people who harm me, that means you are even more inspired to be more beneficial in return to that harm. In this way, it kind of really closes the door on the opportunity for mental affliction to rise up. And by really not allowing a mental affliction to take the floor, as it were, then you are opening yourself to your own better characteristics, that it really allows your love and compassion to flourish in that scenario.
근데 저는 아니 타이시다 저 소소가 지에되고는 지금 냠래이 최이 섬저는 깔래카 말 빼는 내가 전다 니마 먹고 내가 내도 탕체 두고도 와 탕체 지난 탕체의 제가 연구를 때 이내야 배치 가서래 15지게 강에대 제가 말 가서 페버 두고 요 섬서 지금 가서 서버 상복해 아니 내가 그래 제가 이내 다 내가 제대로 무슨 윤의 샘리지를 팬토에 제가 찾아요 가서 샘제도 도달 지금 여봐 인사 아니 꾸노 야보케는 제가 이나 소설 라자 제 연구를 해라 아니 근데 페베 삼바도 톤에 제가 이나 깔래 시작하고 말이야 다들 내가 이 삼사잖아 아니 뇨 깔래카 아니 마지막 시험 때도 와 당치에 제된 것도 와 다들 최에 페베 두고요 삼사잖아 와 어디지
And the same goes for when we are working, that it's usually the case, isn't it, that after several days of work we are exhausted and that we're not fit for anything. But that's because we're viewing our work as a labor, as work itself. But rather, if we actually transform that into it's my practice, then we won't have to experience exhaustion, because we're constantly seeing what's beneficial about what I'm doing, and enter into it with that good mind, with that really pure motivation, and using opportunities directly and indirectly to be of benefit in that work. Then with that motivation, our work becomes our dharma, and that when we see the benefit of what we're doing in terms of our dharma and the development of our dharma life, then we won't necessarily feel that exhaustion.
거두이네 내가 직벌에 제대로는 섬도 염나저보다다 아니 지금 진이 맞아보다 또 선거도 와 얘네야 되게 가서 페이지 삼았다는 제대 심지어도 저와 책도 딜라 편바지 제기도 다들 이마 인사 얘네 진짜 막게 심지어 다른 게 되네 제대 나는 구급질에도 와 삼사 제어도 아니 제가 당체에 그 소리 차이도 와 뒤때 내용도.
And so we can see that, can't we, play out in other ways too, that in working situations, in certain working situations. One is like, we can get very bored and very tired of what we're doing. But if we're able to...
It's the same job every day. 내가 직접 가서 거기 있는 집을 지어서 아니 곧 녀나요 것도 봐. 내가 사바 있는 것 저기 열봐. 어떻게
But if we see that there is some benefit in what we're doing, that it really can be of help to other sentient beings, to kind mother sentient beings, and in some way we are repaying that kindness by the work that we are doing, and put it in that context, then we can be more enlivened and energized to do what we're doing, and less likely to become bored or exhausted by it.
mind training is
So mind training like this, you can see how much potential it has. It has tremendous power to it. So let's leave it there for today.
Yeah. 다 개체슈 되면서 제가 소소 제투에 가서 가서 전화 되나 그것도 있는 거서 심지어지다 저와 차대기도 와. 이것도 매번도 고급습니다. 고급습니다. 딱 이제 저기 되냐도 저와 야부샤야 다 엔디토는 소소 냠래 배주 당 주가 제트. 쉽게 좀 보죠.
So it's really, really important, isn't it, that really we have taken on board the concept of working for the benefit of sentient beings, of all sentient beings. And the more we can keep that in mind, the more we can see that all interaction with other sentient beings in the context of opportunity to make a positive connection with others, and on the basis of that, benefit, to bring benefit to others in whatever way we can, whenever we can. So this should be really the full kind of a job and emphasis of our lives.
샘제지다 저와 내가 처음부터 와서 사나 토나 다 내가 내나 근데 지금 이마이네 지금 샘제는 저와 매게 싸워지는 면도 와. 다 되네 인사 되게 그 다들 먼저 되다 가서 지금 그 저와 저래대 디 가서로 다디 랑을 잡아도 닝제 야제 따야 다 아니 지 가서로 다가는 저 녀몽 숙촌다 따야 다 들레들 sab사 맞은 들레들 녀몽 깨는 것도 와 다들 녀몽 국가 맞게 받지 다 들레 아니 된대게 다 냠래를 배주 땅 도와 중앙이나 아니 나라도 저 코알을 내봐디 지다도 코알 내 동네가 코알 동네라 하시는데 들레 때문에 코알 타에 규직 되네 주고 것도 와 그봐 빼는 거서 미지 리바이나 폴 다운스가 리바이나 리사 다가 나는 야 랑고리면서 샹랑 탑시 요 말아 봐. 근데 뭐서 코에 나를 다 동네 녀한테다 다 코안 타바잖아. 코아 되네 타바지고 딜레 되네 타바지고 와. 와. 탑시 되네 지고 두고 시바는 왜 그게 요 말아 봐.
So that means that whenever to use the mind training really that we have, because we are in a way in connection with sentient beings constantly, and that even though these are worldly connections in many ways, and that we, by using them to enhance our love and deepen our compassion and not give our mental opportunities an opportunity, transforming those relationships into Dharma connections. And that's very, very important. And we should be always aware of, that when we have that kind of discipline of mind to see all these interconnections, interactions as opportunities for the development of love and compassion, and not to give opportunity to mental affliction, which can easily happen in these connections, but rather to really allow our love and compassion to dominate our attitude, so that no mental affliction has an opportunity. Then it's practice. Our world becomes a world of practice. And so even though we're in cyclic existence, and cyclic existence is in the nature of suffering, yet we are using that basis to really lift ourselves out of cyclic existence, to create the causes for liberation by our actions. And so it's like somebody falling down and using the basis of the ground to push themselves back up into a standing position. So we have fallen into cyclic existence, let's say, but we're using the means of cyclic existence to become liberated from it. And so then by being able to see that in order to do this, it's not just a human life that gives me the opportunity to do this, but it is this precious human rebirth of favorable conditions and opportunities that really allows this to happen, gives me the potential to perfect this kind of lifestyle. And so in that way, such a life is incredibly precious.
There was a data Zambolina meet, Pemis Mangota, Mimbo, Mango Chagito, Zambolina Kanga Chagos, Gagura, Mimbo, she was shooting. And Dani Chenge Casodata, she you get a Samotani, you go to the Pemis Mangore. In a Danjo, you didn't get the Comboretua. Naba Yesiman and Naba got the Jolly de Chayo, Shabushevina. What temperature in Lagin got temperature, Danjo Luden Chayo Marta, Danjo Luden, Sechana, you know, Madame. Samle yabuda da denjo lute mune nyene ane water gang meeting ane tuju ta dang mo do de mena da denjo lute ni yu jang ga ja de yu de ge so le che ane rang ge nyam le le me de na do denjo lute chang ye ma da ga de chang ge me do ane chang wa de ga de so gu do so so ge chang ma so ye de ge chi mo le do.
And so we can see now how the human population of the world is massive and increasing very quickly, and that but how many of those have a precious human rebirth? We can't even say just because I'm a Buddhist and that you have a precious human rebirth. It doesn't necessarily follow. It doesn't necessarily follow just somebody claiming to be a Mahayanist that they have a precious human rebirth. So it's very important to see how much we should be aware of the favorable conditions and opportunities that we have, how precious it is, and reflect well on it, and to consider to what extent have you got the complete set of favorable conditions and opportunities, and if not, how do you complete them? And so to take this subject very, very seriously, and to use it as a springboard into very conscientiously using our lives, not wasting any of that life.
말아도 저다 합다라 미개월에서 산지가 최대로 lok중에 제와요 어디 삼 최대 대바에 유여서 어디는 야고 삼었다나 된적으로 돼 창도 상모도 14고 삼었다나 아니 직된 게 자와를 다 최니잖아 직전 자와를 숙차 조국에서 자기도나 라와 매개서 자기도나 된적으로 돼 시라시라 창거 요말다 샤 창거 요말다 디 창거 매바 이때 소소 못 쳐봤대 창와 쏟아 그래 지국도
And so that you may consider being born as a human being, having met with the Buddha Dharma, and even having studied the Buddha Dharma extensively. But if you really reflect honestly and very conscientiously, you may see that there is more of a mind geared and influenced by worldly affairs than they are by spiritual matters. And if that is the case, then you cannot be said to have a fully completed, fully qualified precious human rebirth. And then you're obliged to really see how can I really make that a fully qualified precious human rebirth from here on in.
먼저 삼자 계제 님 제보셔 된저를 다 대자 많이 받잖아. 가래 창도 가서 14부 삼었다네. 14부 삼었다네. 아니 즉 최제고도 아니 바제도 그래 요구도. 냠내 지가 줘도. 직된 그 자와 지어도 안 튕게 그래 창 것도. 이게 야무 샵잡았잖아. 아니 창도 창문도. 아니 그때 창 매바 있나 가래 창문도. 아니 창 써야 돼. 아니 소소 락바 또 줘 봐.
And so that it's not enough to be in agreement with the beautiful talk of the precious human rebirth, of favorable conditions and opportunities, and how it sounds so lovely, but really to analyze with an unbiased and really penetrating motive to see what are the obstacles to my having a precious human rebirth as it is described. To what extent am I mired in worldly considerations, and how can I more accurately establish a fully qualified precious human rebirth, and indeed live my life accordingly.
어디 되게 같이 아니 마사와 되게 상와서야 돼 개쳐버려. 돼 상와서네. 아니 가리 제바 있네. 쉬어를 줄투가 제되지.
And so that the concept of completing, fulfilling what has not yet been fulfilled in terms of a precious human rebirth means that you are thereafter applying, integrating all of what you do into spiritual practice, and not wasting any more of that time.
Today was 먼저 최그 돌링 제스가 개치도 샘뒤다 조지. 다가는 이제 교육의 착하라도 되게 못 쳐봤지. 안티 매가 쏟았지. 다 팀에봤잖아. 계좌님 제보 장장하셔. 먼저 소름 쳐버려. 먼저 양과 되네 삼자 편도고 말아. 소름 쳐버려. 이나 그래서 다 가르쳐 주면도 교육도 가르도. 아니 교육도 못 쳐봤잖아. 교육도 매가 쏟았지. 다들 문제잖아. 최대 차대고 요래.
And so that the purpose of this Dharma discussion, after all, is to control and subdue the mind, to recognize faults in order to eradicate those faults. That is the job at hand. And it's all very nice to have a feel-good factor and to engage in beautiful discussion, which is very beneficial. But it's not the heart of the matter. We should not lose sight of that. The goal is to really control this mind and to eradicate negativities and faults that we have, and that is really engaged in spiritual practice. Let's leave it there.
Yeah, that is a Mazudi and some jet tumjag on the Sunday when you told it. And it then jog lieutenant and it then jog lieutenant Casulta, and it's somewhat cheap. 준투에 뒤준에 아니 대조를 된데 배주 야고 땅투에 어디는 뭐지?
So we make this dedication that we will attain the state of enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings, and in doing so, we recognize with a clear mind our precious human rebirth of favorable conditions and opportunities to see to what extent we have them complete, and to see what is still required in order to complete them, and to engage in that, to really have a fully qualified precious human rebirth and to use it well. We make that dedication. And we make the dedication for all of the holy beings in the world, and primarily and principally His Holiness the Dalai Lama. May they have long lives, and may all obstacles that are good health be removed, and may also all their holy wishes be fulfilled. And in particular, may the Holy Dharma remain in this world for a long time. And that we dedicate also that all the conflicts and trouble in the world may be resolved through peaceful dialogue. And we also dedicate that any degeneration of environments in the world may regenerate, and understand that humans may understand that it is through a lack of satisfaction in their own lives that is at the root cause of indeed so much of this environmental destruction, and so that they may have satisfaction with what they have. And we also dedicate for adequate and appropriate rainfall, etc. We make the dedication for all those who have passed away, any of the beings, wherever they are reborn in any of the 6 realms, may they be freed from the suffering there, and take a precious human rebirth and meet with a fully qualified Mahayana teacher, and be able to proceed along the paths and grounds to enlightenment. We dedicate for all those who are ill and sick and are suffering from disease, etc. May they recover full health and make the remainder of their life meaningful.